Do you need to create an optimized project plan that you can use and leverage on any project you ever need to manage, whether that be now or in the future? A project plan just like this. Well, in today's video, I am going to be showing you how to create this very project plan in under 60 seconds. Now, it is designed for any industry that you may be operating within, but it can also be customized further if you have some bespoke requirements. Before I walk you through exactly how to create this, I do just want to quickly mention that I have made this template and the AI prompt we are going to be using to create it available for instant download, so there's no work for you at all. It will be less than the price of a cup of coffee, but it also does help to support this channel and it is appreciated. So I thought I would mention that up front. There'll be a link in the description below if you do want to pick it up. Nevertheless, here is exactly how we can build this. So I'm showing you the prompt that we are going to be using. So this is a prompt that I've been working on for months now. I've been optimizing it to essentially ensure that every time it's used, the output is as good as possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this and I'm going to open up our AI tool of choice, and I'll walk you through the prompt as well so you can understand how it works. So what I've done here is I've opened up ChatGPT. So this is the AI tool of choice. Now you could probably use some of the other AI tools out there, but this is the one that I would recommend and that I have been personally using for this particular task. Now bear in mind I am on a free account here, so any one of you watching can do this entirely for free. That being said, if you do have access to the Plus plan, I would recommend you using that, and always use the latest model available to you, because that will ensure you get the best output. And that always changes as ChatGPT is always advancing. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to press Control V because I did a Control C back in that Excel document to copy and paste it. So I'm just going to walk you through this prompt here and why it has been created as it is, and then I'll show you exactly how we can take the output and format it to get to exactly where we need. So act as a project management professional with decades of experience in creating insightful project management templates. So we're priming the tool here and giving them some context as to the type of person that we are and that we want the tool to replicate. Now here is our ask. Create me a project plan in tabular format. So that's really important because we want to be able to copy and paste it directly into Excel. Not as code. So again, we need it to be in a format that we can use from the outset. It should be well formatted and organized so that I can copy it directly into Microsoft Excel. Again, just reiterating that point. I want it to have all the necessary columns, including, and in this particular order, task ID, task name, assigned to, start date, end date, status, priority, dependency, additional comments, and any other columns you think would be useful to include. Each row should contain tasks that are relevant on any project, so keep it high level and generic. Now here we could refine it and say something like, I operate in the finance industry and this particular project is for the new release of our latest financial product. This is where you can be specific. I'm just giving you an example of how you could refine this to suit your particular needs. But what we're trying to do here is create a project plan that we can leverage on any project you need to manage. I want to keep it generic. So that's why we've been specific. We've put that in here specifically here. I also want the task to be divided into the relevant project phases: initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, and closure, which should be created as milestones and as the parental tasks, where each underlying task is a subtask. So what we're talking about here is structure. We want this to be structured in such a way that it's obviously in a chronological order and that we can use it to pretty much understand where we are in the project at each time. I want this project plan to be in depth so that the project can be closely managed. Populate the assigned to with an appropriate stakeholder for each milestone and task, set the status as not started for all, and populate the dependency and priority columns with the appropriate default data. Make the start date for the first milestone task today's date. So obviously it depends when you're using this prompt, you'll get a slight change there, but keep all other date fields empty. So that is our prompt. So assuming that that was written and plug that in, So it pretty much just says below is pretty much replicating our ask, and here we go. So we literally just need to wait for this to run. So it won't take long. So here we go, we're in the final phase here, closure. Now what you can do at this point, this will absolutely suffice, and this is what we're going to go with. But what you can do at this point is you could say something like, if you wanted to get a little bit more advanced, please, don't need to say please, expand on the project monitoring phase with additional tasks. If you wanted to add complexity to it, but you don't want your project plan to be too overwhelming, but that is how we'd go about kind of expanding it further if you wanted to. So at this point, I'm literally selecting all of these. I'm selecting the whole table. Control C. I'm going into my Excel. I'm going to go into this blank Excel sheet, and I'm going to paste as, I'm going to suggest match destination formatting. Okay. So all we need to do now is format it. Very simple. So various options here, obviously depends on your needs and requirements and what you like. But what I like to do is put borders all around. I like to bold this. Remember the timer is on now. I'm going to put this in a bit of a darker grey. I'm going to make this slightly bigger. I'm going to left click here, double left click here, so that each column has been expanded to the width we require for there to be no truncation. At this point, I'm going to go into each and every, with a lighter grey shading, each and every milestone, just to differentiate the phases. I'm then going to select all of these here, and I'm going to use the indenting just to actually I'm going to go back there. I'm just going to do it on these just to essentially get that. If you look at that structure, we can see that they kind of align to that. It just helps visually. And then we could also do things like bold this if we wanted to, bold this, or bold the whole row. Just helps to differentiate the phases. We're nearly there, by the way. I realise I've said 60 seconds. I'm trying to do this so that I'm showing you, but depending on how quick you are in Excel, this can be done in 60 seconds. Trust me, I've done it. And then all you need to do, if you wanted to, is change the font. So I think I used Aptos on the other one because that looks nice and professional. Double click again. And that's pretty much it. Now, all you'd need to do at this particular stage is perhaps insert above, insert above, insert above. And then you could say something like project plan for Project Alpha. Give it a title. Bold. Make this larger. Bold. And then if you wanted to, view, take the grid lines out. Now, one other quick thing you may want to do is just select these two columns, right click and click format cells. You might want to change this to date and then choose a different type so that they are formatted correctly. The other couple of things you could do is you could essentially select column G, go data, and then data validation, and then put the list, and then basically set the different statuses you want. So it could be something like not started, in progress, on hold, complete. You could even put something like at risk if you wanted to. Now I'm going to select these cells here because we don't want the drop down to be in these cells. So I'm going to select from G1 to G5, and then I'm going to click on data validation, change that from list to any value. And then I'm going to do the same thing for priority. So select column H, data validation, list. So for priority, we're going to go low, medium, high. Okay. So now we've got this as a drop down. Select from H1 to H5, data validation, put that back to any value, and we are done. And that is your optimized project plan in Excel in really a matter of clicks and, as you know, as quickly as you want it to be. Obviously, I've done some extra formatting here. You may not even want to do that, but you'll notice everything is set up optimally, and you can use this from the go. If you did want to get that prompt, as I say, and this all done for you and ready for you, then there'll be a link in the description below. Otherwise, create this yourself. Any questions, comments, feedback about this process, about the output, etc., then drop them down below and I'll get back to you. And with that said, best of luck with your project plan, and I hope you have an excellent day.